Do we have some of them scary things to give away here, Nick?
We do.
Yeah, what do we got there? Blood Rush? Blood Runs Cold?
Blood Runs Cold?
Blood Rush Forest of Terror.
We got four. We got five pairs.
Yes.
Dang.
You need to call Nick right now at 402-951-1620. While supplies last.
While supplies last.
So wait, all they got to do is call and they can just get these things?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
What a deal.
It is a great deal.
We're friends. You're our friends of the program, but we're the friends of you.
Yeah, we wanted to celebrate the fact that it's Friday.
And it's a Halloween month.
And as you know, and listen, while you're on the phone with Nick, he can give you advice on,
betting advice?
Oh, no, on dates, taking dates to haunted forests.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does. He takes all of his dates to haunted forests.
That happened once. Can I do the betting advice?
Successfully.
No, you can't do the betting advice.
Do you have
baseball
F1 betting
parlays.
advice?
We got callers.
Not that.
You get some winners there. We're going to set some people up.
Winners.
Winners.
Looks like Verstappen is the favorite this weekend, Nick.
He's on the phone now. You
All
can't
right,
be
he's
bothering.
busy.
You can't be bothering him.
I was going to get his takes.
What on
Verstappen?
On Verstappen? No, he's going to.
never mind.
He's going to be Vergoen this week. He's not going to be Verstappen.
Yeah, it's weird that a driver's name is Verstappen. Shouldn't it be Verdriven? Nick,
He's from
you got to
another
answer.
country, Josh.
You got to answer the phone and give away some prizes right now.
Yeah,
Vergoen.
Be like if you're a quarterback and your name was Interception.
That'd be bad.
Jerry Interception.
Is that Trevor Lawrence's new last name?
Oh, come on. He played all right last night. They almost won.
They did almost win.
It was actually an entertaining game. You could actually hear the surprise and the amusement in Joe Buck and Troy Aikman's voices last
look
night.
at this, going down to the wire.
This has been an entertaining game. And then, of course, Troy Aikman goes with his Dr. Hibbert laugh. Now, you're not familiar with Dr. Hibbert because you never watched The Simpsons.
I have only watched 2 or 3 episodes.
Dr. Hibbert was the knockoff character, the doctor character on The Simpsons that was actually... And, the genesis of this is probably problematic now today. But back in the day when The Simpsons used to be on Thursday nights opposite The Cosby Show, they actually created the Dr. Hibbert character after the character that Bill Cosby played on The Cosby Show.
Oh, that could have been very problematic.
Yeah, and he's still around today, but he's always got the
Cosby
laugh. And every time I hear Troy Aikman laugh, do one of those little token laughs, it's like, dude, and it's Dr. Hibbert. It's Dr. Hibbert. Sam McEwen, earlier this week, you can tell what story, if you ever want a sneak preview of what story Sam is working on for the week, listen to the Monday press conferences because he has very specific questions about a certain subject matter and then eventually writes about it. This week, he was writing about, hey, you know what? You guys aren't scoring very much in the first quarter. What about those scripted plays?
They are not.
The graphic earlier this week in the story that he wrote.
Oh, man, yeah.
Showing the points per first quarter for Nebraska going back to 2003 and for Scott Frost teams at both Oregon when he was the OC and at UCF. Obviously, when Frost was at Oregon and UCF, they were averaging double-digit points in the first quarter. They were averaging 13 points back in 2013. They were averaging 10 points in the first quarter in 2015, almost 12 points in 2017. And Nebraska was fairly respectable basically from, the middle of Bill Callahan to even 2 years ago. Nebraska was averaging somewhere between 6 and 8 points for the most part in the first quarter. But look at this year. Nebraska's only scored 10 points in the first quarter all year. 0.8 points per first quarter this season. I mean, it's not even close.
John, it's staggering.
Yeah, the next lowest was the 2004 Joe Daly, trying to fit square peg round hole option quarterback into a Bill Callahan West Coast offense when they averaged 2.7 points in the first quarter. So even with all the praise we've heaped on Martinez, and he's got some better skill people around him, Nebraska has not scored in the first quarter. It is at historic, at least for the last 2 decade lows.
Yeah, and the touchdown came against Fordham, right? So they've scored 10 points total, and one of the scores came against an FCS team. So they've only scored 3 points versus FCS programs. It's incredible, and it's nuts, too, because he had the stat in his rewind on Sunday night, where he wrote, Nebraska's averaging 4.6 yards per play in the first quarter, which is 1.6 yards per less than the average for the entire game. I mean, John, it's staggering. And he asked the question of, like, what's going on? Are the scripted plays not good enough? And I guess I wonder, do they have a bad game plan coming out and then they respond really well and they adjust really well? Is it just this offense in general and they're going to have quarters where they struggle and it just kind of so happens that it's the first quarter? Because I don't really get it. It's not like this offense is a whole lot to write home about beyond Adrian Martinez anyway. But even he is unable to kind of get off to a quicker start. And tomorrow night, especially with the bad weather, that would be, a nice thing for them to do, is to get out and have a really good drive, go right down the field, and put a touchdown on the board the first time they would do so versus, an FBS team and obviously then a Big Ten team as well, if they were able to do so.
You mentioned the weather as we go to break. The weather for tomorrow night. Chance of showers and thunderstorms before 10 o'clock. Chance of showers between 10 and 1. So it could be misty, hit and miss rain throughout the game tomorrow night. The rain chances have come down a bit for the day on Saturday, so maybe that doesn't mean nearly as much rain.
Yeah, and I mean, just you think about how games have kind of slowed down the last couple of weeks, and you've had fewer possessions. You don't want to lose the ball because of weather. You don't want to have a bad snap. You don't want to have a carry that results in a fumble. I mean, Adrian's had a couple of them this year. They've done a really good job in terms of handoff. Adrian to the tailbacks. There's been one or two plays where the ball ended up on the turf. But one of the things that we've talked about a good amount of time, John, lately is the option and how the relationship between Adrian and the pitch man has just been a little bit large for maybe what you and I are looking for. They're just a little far apart, and in a game where the weather could be a factor, that's certainly something to keep an eye on. Let's
continue the conversation, and we'll talk more about tomorrow's game with Chris Basnett, our Friday friend from the Lincoln Journal-Star, next on 1620 The Zone.